Hello everyone. Welcome to Please Tell Me. What would you do if you are unemployed? Most Americans claim unemployment insurance and collect unemployment checks in the last few months. What if those checks are not available? You have to try to squeeze every penny and find a way to make money. A lot of Chinese do not have unemployment insurance. For those who have insurance, the check is only about $150 per month. In the wake of COVID-19, the Chinese are figuring some way out to get their life back on foot. The government has a brilliant idea to encourage people to do more street stand sales. Americans are not very familiar with this kind of setting. Most people know the famous New York City hot dog food cart or the lemonade stand in the communities. Actually, the road stand shops or street markets are quite popular in a lot of countries. Most Asian cities have night street markets. In the US, we may find some street stand shops in a large city downtown area like the New York Union Square or San Francisco Ferry Plaza. Normally evolved from the farmers market, expanded into other foods, clothes, accessories, and such. Such markets are much more diversified in China. The street stand shops offer food, fruit, barbecues, clothes, shoes, toys, office supply, pets, electronics, everything you may imagine in a supermarket you can find in this street market. When I was young, I remember vividly that the market was not far from where we live. After dinner, we could easily kill a few hours on the street, had some street food for snacks, and may buy a few things. All spots, schedule, and the people in the market are relatively stable. Most people only have a sheet of plastic with everything they want to sell and a stool, sometimes with a battery light to light the area up. Some of them even use a megaphone with a recorded voice to draw attention. Walking on the street, you can smell, hear, watch, and feel the pulse of the city. The busy traffic turns into a busy market. The street market even grows into another format, which includes a larger collection of merchants in a larger open space. Sounds more like the annual state fair. We call it Ji, which basically means the collection. Merchants get together at certain days. Sometimes they may even have to travel to meet the dates in different areas. In this collection, other than all stand shops, there are even entertainment events. I have seen lottery tickets for bicycles, refrigerators, or even cars. My favorite activity is you get what you can cash. It's in a fenced up open space in the middle of the field. There are multiple things attractive to kids like toys, electronics, etc. Then you need to buy the bamboo rings from the merchant outside the fence. You aim and throw rings to whatever you want. As long as the ring goes right into, it's yours. Normally, those rings were precisely designed to fit, so it's quite challenging. I never really won anything, but the fun was real. Of course, there are problems. Street market is not clean, quite noisy, and interferes with traffic. Back in the days, there was a lot of news about the city management confiscating street stands. Normally, the violation is influence over the city's view and the illegal street occupation. At the same time, the great urbanization has turned all empty spaces into buildings and added a lot of more traffic. Slowly, the street market was gone. After the COVID, the unemployment rate goes through the roof. How to create more jobs becomes the government's number one priority. The street market does not influence the city's view anymore. The street occupation is not illegal either. The prime minister encouraged people to get out the street to do something. It went viral. The streets are full of people again. An online how to start a street stand business guide becomes popular and it includes a list of all hot streets. A lot of people are talking about how to build the supply chain, how to find customer, etc. It seems the street market is coming back. However, it's way too naive to create jobs in this way. The physical stores, as we can say in the US, have been crashed in the COVID. Due to the online shopping's incomparable efficiency, JCPenney, Nordstrom, and several other retailers are filing bankruptcies or closing stores. Will what you are selling on the street be less expensive and better quality than the online stores? Not really. The online store can buy bulk at lower price, display on the monitor, and have a return policy, when the street retailers have none of those. The street market will eventually become a food market, which is actually what most Asian street markets are now. The food business, even without a fixed cost on storefront, has a really thin profit margin with demanding requirements in management. It's absolutely something cannot be handled in part-time. Especially in China, the food itself is complex, more than just a hot dog. The first competition will eventually bring the price down to a point that the competition will go into a gray area to maintain the profit or to quit. It's also interesting to think on the personal level, the street stand is a basic human right. When people are unemployed and desperate, they do not have the money to invest into the stock market or to start an AI company. The only thing they have is probably a couple $100 and themselves. They spend the money and the time on the street, sell stuff, which does not really hurt anyone. This is the last resort of human dignity. The truth is such opportunities seem not exist anymore. The cold hard internet has brought everything down to earth, leaves no room for a street merchant. Americans do not need to worry about this. The unemployment checks are very generous, and sometimes people collect more from the unemployment checks than regular paychecks. Different governments are taking different approaches to get people back to work. Both are not working very well and not long-term plans. The world is no longer the same one when all those strategies were created. Our next topic this week is about an unleashed dog. We all know what happened to the event of the unleashed dog in New York Central Park. The lady, Miss Amy Cooper, called the police because the African American gentleman was threatening her life while he was only trying to tell her to leash the dog. The entire thing finally cost her a job and probably a lifetime reputation. This week, an unleashed dog in Suzhou, China also costs something, its life and $10,000. Mr. Wang was walking his dog in the park, unleashed. While the dog was chasing a bird and suddenly ran into the city road, a BMW was passing and hit the dog right on. The dog was sent to the vet immediately but did not make it. At the same time, the BMW was also damaged. Mr. Wang does not only lose his dog, but also has to pay about $10,000 for the repair. The unleashed dog is a long-term but quite common issue in China. One main reason I did not like dogs was because the PTSD of unleashed aggressive dogs. A lot of time people say, he's so nice, she's just trying to play with you, he's not going to hurt you, it's their nature, etc. Every time I went back to China, I saw people walking unleashed dogs. Sometimes it's a little quirky, sometimes it's a German Shepherd. I have no idea why the lady in the Central Park was so upset when the man was only to remind her to put a leash on the dog. There is some race discrimination or white privilege behind, which I believe I had discussed in the last episode. Compared to the Chinese case, I think there is something called the dog lover privilege other than the race. People love dogs, or as a lot of people say, dog owners seem to have a mysterious privilege of love toward their dogs. Well, first, I think the name dog owner is ridiculous. Humans are probably the only kind ignorant enough to claim ownership of another life. This dog privilege is between having children and having cars. People well understood children are actually on their own without belonging to anyone. A car normally permanently owned until the ownership changes. The dog or pet is somewhere in between. If people say you are driving a loser car, yeah, whatever, it's a 1995 Honda, so what? If people say your son is a loser, then you can become very upset. The owner has a very special, unspeakable attachment to their dogs as they both own and educate them. An individual can feel offended if others tell him or her to put leash on a dog, as it may imply their dog can become very aggressive. Well, they firmly believe the dog is perfect. They will not bat anyone. Such confidence cannot just be transferred to a stranger. In another word, they don't have to share the confidence. People say an unleashed dog. That's it. Then the owner gets very upset. The denial of dogs means to deny them. Them include their entire life, education, work, race, family background, etc. We are forgetting one important participant in this entire matter, the dog. Apparently, I do not speak the dog language or understand them. I watched an animated movie about pets a few years ago, probably called The Secret Life of Pets. I remember one line. What? You are a pet? Probably not all animals are happy to be pets all the time. Our next topic will go back to the online show. As I mentioned before, it's quite popular in mainland China. The popularities have brought a lot of celebrities into the showroom to share life with their fans alive. There have been two incidents recently, not very positive ones. In a live stream show, a singer disclosed the fact he changed his high school graduate status from graduate to new graduate while applying to a college by some means. Let me explain a little bit why it matters. In China, the university enrollment system is quite complex. Some universities will only allow new high school graduates to enroll. Some students may want to take the 12th grade again if they believe they could do better next year, as the exam happens only once a year. At that time, their status will no longer be new graduate, so those students are not eligible to enter university with a graduation year requirement. I know it sounds very stupid. Well, equality is equality. Since he said that, the state education department initiated the investigation into this matter and verified. As a result, his college diploma was revoked and his performance career was basically terminated. He has been cut off from two reality shows he participated in. It's not rare. Another celebrity showed ignorance about the largest article database in China during one live show with a doctorate degree in acting. So people asked him how you write a paper without a database. I know the doctorate degree in acting does not sound legit. The university quickly assembled a team to investigate and also confirmed an academic integrity issue. His doctorate degree was revoked and his acting career shuts down. The live show is super cool. It provides everyone an opportunity to examine the celebrity's life when they do not have scripts or editing opportunities. Well, the thing is, celebrities are just one of us. I truly believe changing graduate status is quite common in China, at least in some states. So the singer can say the law to everyone. There are also tens of doctors who did not know how to search database to write a paper but finally graduated. Celebrities all live a life. They have to eat, drink, sleep, and use bathrooms. They have the families as we do. They have some awkward moments just like we have. They commit crimes sometimes. People tend to believe what they want to believe. Back to the unleashed dog issue. I'm certain Miss Amy Cooper, at some moment of her life, is a nice lady who may have tipped generously at one Chinese restaurant. She's not a bad person in a very common sense. Now her life is basically destroyed. Does she deserve that? She will have to take the responsibility in terms of the law, whatever it is. Other than the law, should we burden the moral responsibility? She's just a poor girl who disclosed her little dirty secret by accident. Do you want her to die? Like in front of you? Or if you have a button to sentence her to die, will you press the button? These two Chinese celebrities may have been banned forever in their careers. This Cooper lady may never find a job in her life, as she should have earned a doctorate degree in acting as a Central Park Unleashed dog lady. People who left prisons will be granted a second chance. People who sentenced online will have to carry the name forever. For the records, I'm all against all kind of illegal and discrimination activities. Our last topic this week is about sports, more precisely basketball. I played basketball in high school. I was not very good at it. People normally say there are two things that stop me being a better basketball player: my left hand and the right hand. This week, a video of a 14-year-old kid playing basketball just slammed on my face. Different from me, he doesn't have one thing to stop him: his right hand. In the video, he plays basketball with his left hand most of the time, but like a professional player. If you don't know he's disabled, you may believe he's a pro plays against another pro, but overly confident to have his right hand concealed to win. The Chinese official news channel posted the video. Stephen Curry even tweeted, "Who is this kid? Help me find him. Keep doing you and don't let anyone tell you you can't." Hashtag stay underrated. Hashtag. I have some understanding of the people with disabilities as I was a volunteer in 2008 Beijing Paralympic Games. When I think back, I never feel happy for those people. The Paralympic Games, in Chinese translation, Special Olympic Games, was really the purpose. From the Paralympic website, it is to encourage para-athletes through their performance showcase to the world what can be achieved when testing your body to its absolute limits. You are a great basketball player, but sorry, you cannot showcase in the Olympic. You can only compete in the Paralympic. It sounds more like a circus show with no audience. One kind of discrimination is the special care of treatment. What if there is an obesity Olympic? All overweight people from all over the world will come together in the city and live broadcast. The purpose is to show them how close they can be to a regular weight person. I have a lot of respect for this kid playing against another non-disabled player. He's just a basketball player playing against another one. He doesn't need special care to make his life easier. His life is tough enough. The follow-up news is the young gentleman has decided to go to basketball school and is probably seeking a professional career. I'm really concerned. It's highly possible he will not make it to the professional league. From my prior episode, a halfway professional sportsman is difficult enough in China. Disability and no college degree is like a perfect storm. He will be better off to be practical to pursue a college degree. The cost of not being practical in China is just simply too high. By the way, I understand sometimes you may want to check the facts on news I discussed. We are building a Please Tell Me website which will contain all episodes, some background on the news, and something else. Thanks for listening to Please Tell Me. I will see you next week.